everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I know a lot of you are going to be excited. A new video on the Range Rover Classic LSE. Guys, I did say a couple of weeks ago that there is some great news coming about the Range Rover, and that great news is we have finally got our slot coming up at the paint shop, and that is ultimately what we've been waiting for. We did have another guy doing it, a very good friend of mine, the guy that painted the Ferrari. I wanted him to do it, but he's just too busy to do it. So we have booked it in with the new guy, and it's booked in for the 15th of this month. So we need to get it prepped up. We've had the guy around, he's looked at it, and he said that he needs the sunroof removed. We know there's a little bit of a fault with that anyway, so we need to get that out, because this is going to be going to the paint shop and having all of this welding work, all the seam sealer, all the floor inside. If you remember, we put a new one in it, and the roof is going to be painted at the same time. So we need to crack on, get this cleaned up, get it pumped up, and do a load more little jobs on it and get it completely prepped, ready to go up to that paint shop. Let's get on and get it done. Quite a lot of work there, guys. We've moved quite a lot of stuff around lately, like the jig. We bought that in from the other, from Chris's garage to put the car on. So just trying to get everything back in place and clean it and sweep it at the same time. But the majority of the dust was on the old Range Rover, believe it or not. We've got it out there, strapped to the back of Chris's car. We're quite happy, his van rather, with all the dust that we've blown off it now. So we're just finishing up, sweeping up this side of the workshop, getting it all cleaned through, and then we'll go out in the yard, turn around, tow in, and bring the Range Rover back in, get it on the ramp and start attacking it. Guys, we are excited. We are as excited about this build as you guys are. And I know so many of you were really, really anxious for us to get back on this car. And it wasn't forgotten about. It wasn't pushed to a side. It wasn't getting left for other projects. We genuinely didn't want to go any further with the car without having it set to go in for its paintwork. So now it is, the date is fixed. We will crack on with this. We're going to start straight away by removing the lower tailgate. So this section here, thankfully, we spoke to the previous owner of this vehicle. He actually reached out to us when we first started recording, and I'm sure he's probably watching now. And he said he actually had one of these brand new fitted just before he sold the car, and he claimed off of his insurance because the back window got broken and they had to replace the whole thing. Now this was a very, very common fault on them, and we're so lucky to have it with this nice new top half of the tailgate in glass. So this is the section that we're going to be getting off. We've got a little bit of work to do on it down here. Again, the panels are not going up until we've got the car done. I did say in the start of the video, it's going to get the welding sorted. Sorry, we have done the welding. It's all of the seam sealer work, and the guy is going to need to paint inside this floor, all inside these turrets here, because we've had to obviously put a new floor in it. And for those of you that didn't see those videos, please do feel free to go back. We have put all of these videos for this Range Rover into their own category, so you can watch them all one after the other. So we're going to crack on, get this lower tailgate removed, and then we'll be doing some work to that while it's away being done. We also need to get that sunroof out. I'll stop there because Chris is cutting up some wood for the log burner. We've got to get the sunroof out. I've just had a look and it is just a few 10 mils to remove that because we know there's an issue with it. We are going to bypass everything and start messing around with it and see if we can work out what is wrong with it while we're taking it off. But remembering back, I actually remember starting the car up outside, and this did sit outside for 8 years, and the sunroof actually started opening on its own. So we know the motor's good, we just got to work out what the issue is, but we think it was probably damp. Let's crack on and start getting some of these bits sorted out and removed. Guys, sorry, I know the light's not brilliant, but believe it or not, it's because it's got kind of late on us and we're still working. If you look up at the skylights, the light hour's gone now, so it does get quite dark in the workshop. But we have been cracking on nevertheless, and we got that tailgate completely removed. And Chris, would you come round with a light, please? Yeah. We are quite chuffed because we knew it was quite nice behind it because we took the bumper off, but we was pleasantly surprised once we removed the tailgate. You can see all down the back of here is lovely, but we're going to be flattening all that off, getting it all lovely so that when he runs around and does all that paintwork, we'll be getting that done as well. The chassis me and Chris are going to be doing ourselves. We know it's got a good chassis on it, but we need to clean it up and do some paint work. Moving on, that's a wheel nut, don't know where that was from. Moving on, while I was messing around doing that, Chris did come around and give me a hand to lift it off. He has made up a bit of a switch, or just a lead, to check the sunroof. And as we always thought that it was probably the switch or a bit of damp in there. So he's done a hot wire. And he's got the sunroof opening, which is fantastic. We're still gonna, I think we've made our mind up, we are gonna strip that out and give it a good overhaul while it's at the paint shop, because you can see where it has got quite moist and had a bit of moisture in there previously. So that's the sunroof, all open. And it's a lot better for painting because they're going to get, I can't point because I'm holding on, but all the way around those edges. It'll just get all sealed up and be lovely. Guys, we're going to cut it there. We'll be back in the morning. Stop for a minute, getting all excited there, get cracking on and getting it done, and then I remembered we must go and pick up. We got the two doors, the wing and the rear quarter panel, and the most important bit is the scuttle panel, because we're not going to be able to paint that on the car. That does need to be off as well, otherwise all the rubbers around the aperture of the window, you're not going to get right on the bottom, it overlaps it and you're not going to get it. So let's head on over to Crash Corrections and pick up them bits. Was a little bit wishful thinking I could get it all in the back of the little combo. You can all see that steering wheel there. I've managed to get the scuttle panel in, both doors, and we've got one wing, so we've still got 2 quarter panels here that I do need to come back for, but that scuttle panel, really, that is the most important bit. You can see it there, because you're just not going to get to the edges. I've already said that, haven't I? Let's get back to the yard. So as you can see, guys, it has been a very, very busy couple of days for me and Chris. We really have gone flat out on this, both of us, trying to achieve getting it ready for that paint shop on Monday. And we are happy to say it is good to go. I'm going to walk the other way. No, I'll walk this way. It's just there's a car in the background. I didn't want to show, but all of the primer work, everything that we wanted to do is all done, and bits and pieces of the seam sealer as well. You can see in there, we've got that done. All of the seal. I'm going to just try and stand quite far back so we can see it all. All those bits of rust up in the back just here, they've all been treated and primed. Now the paint guy was actually, that was a waste of time, saying I didn't want to show that, but never mind. The paint guy was going to be doing quite a lot of this himself, but me and Chris really wanted to kind of knuckle down and get as much of it done as we can, because we have got obviously other projects waiting to go to the paint shop, but this is booked in and we need to get it in there. Those are the 2 doors and the front wing that I got back from the paint shop. We've got the scuttle panel inside there, ready to go as well, just sitting on the jig. Those panels were prepped and primed and flatted, ready to go by Crash Corrections, because the plan was always take the car over there, have all of this welding work that we done on it, all of the welding, like the inside wheel arches there. We had to put those repair panels in on both sides, this side and that side. We wanted to get all of that all based up, painted, and the roof, and then take back the car with all of the panels on it and get them painted. But we're going to be taking those doors and that wing off, sending it down there, and it's going to come back hopefully. All this front panel, you see we went crazy cleaning it all up and getting it absolutely spot on. All the light boxes, everything. She is ready to go. So the next time we see it, all of this is going to be in colour, which is amazing. It's been a long time coming, and like I said, guys, this hasn't been something that we've just sat aside and thought we'd do it as and when. We had a plan for it, and the plan got changed, and the paint guy got really busy. You can probably hear some air hissing out there. We did take all the suspension pump off it in an earlier episode, and Chris just rigged it up so that we can pump it up on an airline, all 4 corners at the same time. But it is really, really nice to see it now ready to go to the paint shop. The guy at the paint shop's probably got a day, because he's going to run along and do that back edge there. We've just run out of time now, and like I say, it is going there Monday morning. But all of those little repairs, it's just going to last forever. We've got all those products that company sent us. We'll be mentioning them once we're actually putting them in all the cavities of the car. But this car's not going to rot again. We've got all of that treatment for it. I'm so happy, honestly, so happy, and really happy to have it out of that space in the workshop, and I know Chris is too. So we have got all of the products now, and I did say I'm going to mention it in the next video, or when we're actually putting it on. guys, but I'll be honest with you, I couldn't remember what it was called, and it's that Dinner Troll. And Dinner Troll actually hooked us up with everything we're going to need for that Range Rover once it is painted. So thank you again to them. Chris has got the gun out for the sealer. Obviously we're going to be going around doing all under the arches. We've got the 2 rocker box covers there and the plenum. These window rubbers, we was going to throw them away, and I said to Chris, if we could just hang on for a minute. What I wanted to do was just keep them, because you guys would have seen me cutting the windows out of the back of that Range Rover. It's been such a busy week, and we couldn't time lapse too much, because I've actually spent quite a lot of time running around Kent over the last couple of days, and poor Chris has been in here working on that Range Rover constantly. So I cut these out because they was all perished at the bottom, and they actually overlap the quarter panels. So we are going to be ordering 2 new window rubbers for it, and that's why we just cut them out. We knew they was available, so we just cut them out. That is the scuttle panel laying there, and I know I mentioned twice there were some bits that we wouldn't be able to get to. And guys, it was all down here and all down round these edges. So we're going to be having all of that all based up and painted white is down at the paint shop. We'll be taking that down there with it. We got all the sealers and everything. What did you know what these were called, Chris?
Spray sealer.
Spray sealer, but it's quite specialist stuff. It's from Worth. We had to order that in, and Chris has got the gun there for it. So as soon as we're ready, we'll be doing all underneath them arches. Just about to sit down there, and Chris said, I've got this bit of cardboard here. He was spraying it out earlier and explaining to me, and he was actually showing me, and it was really interesting because it's not something I've used. If you look at that, it actually looks really old school, like how they would spray it on. And with that gun, you can adjust the air, Chris, can't you? You can adjust the splatter, the product. And then he actually showed me this bit, which was quite clever. He said, you can't really, well, you can get it wrong, but he sprayed a big lump and it went there. And if he only half pulls the trigger, he was able to push that around and spread it out. What was the word you used for it? Thin it out, and just made it look like pretty much textured the same as that. So that is what it's going to be all underneath, and then obviously it's going to have the colour over the top. A lot of work there on the old Range Rover, guys. A lot of work for Chris all the way through the project, all the welding. It needed, we thought, a couple of patches here, a couple of patches there, and the deeper we dug, the worse it got. We have put all of those videos into a playlist, sorry, because the other day I said something completely different. They are all in a playlist and they are in order, so if you do want to go back and watch those, it's all different types of emotions really, taking that car apart, thinking that it's great, and there was quite a lot of rust in it, but we got there in the end, and it is really nice, like I said earlier, to see the back of all of that side of the work. There's still plenty of work to go, but it will be nice. I'm not going to spoil the next video, but once it does come back from paint, then we are able to make some serious progress on that car. So guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. We would really appreciate the support on this build, so please do give us a thumbs up, drop us a comment, let us know what you think of it. I know so many of you in every single video we do, the same people actually, LSE, they really do like this. It never had a great following from the start, but hopefully it will pick up now. Like, subscribe and share. I hope everybody has a lovely weekend, and we'll see you early next week in the next one.